Liz, bring to me the girl who entrusts her feelings to her blade. That would be Miss Annalise. So I think I remember this one. This one's pretty interesting. Another Vega Star door. Because there's definitely a lot more star doors than Moon or Sun. I shall grant you a memory fragment and my blessing. Tripping over your own sun. We're in Bose. For some unknown reason. Bum bum bum. Interesting. Wow, that's a surprise. Annalise. Uh-oh. Oh, Lugren. Is something the matter? It's not like you to walk right up to the second floor without even looking at the board and sit quietly like this. You're not feeling sick from eating too much ice cream or something, are you? Don't be silly. I'm not a kid anymore, you know. Could have fooled me. I swear that you were the one who ate 3 full scoops first thing one morning, and later had to go get some stomach medicine from Spence. Maybe my memory's playing tricks on me. Let's all pretend that never happened, okay? Besides, that was back when I was a junior bracer. That was forever ago. I learned my lesson after that, I swear. Now I never have more than 1 scoop each morning. Woo! You're not supposed to have ice cream in the morning at all, you know. Well, no matter. So what have you been doing up here all this time anyway? Oh, right. Well, you see, I got a letter from my pappy who lives a long way away this morning. Pappy style? Really now? He's a swordsman if I recall, isn't he? Yep, he's an instructor. He's real famous among sword practitioners, actually. Yoon Ka-Fai of the 8 Leaves 1 Blade School. Of course, we hear a lot about him during the Erebonia games, of course. Ah, yeah, that's the one. I was familiar with the name even before meeting you, but I was quite surprised to find out you were his granddaughter. How about that? Didn't he used to live here in Liberl? I'm surprised you know about that. Oh, she's another practitioner. I can't say I have any memories of when he was here, though. It was around when I was born, so how could I? That long ago, I see. So how's he doing? Well? Judging by his letter, yeah, he's doing fine. I haven't had the chance to meet him in person for about a year now. Last time we had a chance to spar, I felt like he was totally babying me. Even though he's like 70. He really must be skilled to be treating an active bracer that way. Of course, famously, he never actually appears. Although I have heard rumors that he might appear in the final game that's currently being developed. Huh? Well, what's with the sudden serious face? Oh, it's nothing all that major, but I've been wondering something for a while. Why do you stay here when you could join him? Sorry, I'm lost. Well, it's just that you're aiming to improve your swordsmanship, aren't you? It feels like if you have a grandfather like that, the fastest way to do that would be to go with him and polish your skills at his side. Streamlabs style. That's Well, I suppose it's not my place to be telling you what may or may not be best for you. Sorry, Analyst, you needn't pay any attention to an old man like me. No, that's not true at all. That's not true! So get your facts straight. I really appreciate your advice, but please don't think it's not your place to give it. I can definitely see where you're coming from on this. I do have my reasons for being here and all. They're just a little difficult to explain. Oh? I do want to learn more about swordsmanship and swords in general. So in that sense, you're right that continuing to train under Pappy would be both the best and fastest course of action. But that's not all I want to do with my life. I want at least as much, if not more, to know more about what it means to be a bracer. I guess it's a case of wanting to learn more about swordsmanship as a bracer, rather than as a swordsman, if that makes sense. Am I even doing a good job of explaining this? No, I think I see where you're coming from. Where you're coming from now, actually. Besides, Happy once told me that he taught me all of the technical side of swordsmanship. Forms, crafts, that kind of stuff already. Whether I can master them or not is all down to me now. So in that sense, I feel like there's no specific need for me to train under him nowadays. Of course, whether I'm really advancing in my swordsmanship now is another issue entirely. I wish I could say for sure I was, but... I see. What's with the silent treatment all of a sudden? Oh, it's nothing. You're just not really one for these kind of serious discussions, so I was impressed to see you were even capable of it. Hey, I am so capable. Besides, you were the one who kind of pushed me into talking about all this stuff first. I'm glad I did, kid. Alright. Dude, I don't know why I said kid, but whatever. Shut up. Anyway, getting back to the point, what did the letter even say, anyway? Oh, right. Well, as surprising as it is, it says that I should go and see Cassius Bright. Cassius? The one and only? The one, the only... Yep, that's right. Supposedly Pappy was invited by the Royal Army to be a guest instructor at some point a long time ago. That's when he trained Cassius, too. So, ever since they've had this kind of student-master relationship with one another, Cassius even went out of his way to go and see him 10 years ago, when he decided to stop using a sword, too. 10 years ago? That would put that around when he left the army and became a bracer, then. What exactly prompted him to tell you to go visit Cassius now, though? Well, I guess he only just recently found out that Cassius has returned to the army. Army style. So now he's wondering whether he might take this opportunity to take up the sword again. And we got a bot, of course. Why not? Bum bum ba bum. I gotcha. He wants you to go and ask for him. And let him know what he says, yeah. I see. People really do end up connected in the strangest places in the funniest ways. So funny. Tell me about it. Anyway, that being said, I kind of have a favor to ask. You want time off, I assume? Well, who am I to say no? You've got good cause to have it. I can even get in touch with the army and set up a meeting with Cassius if you want. Really? Really, go along and get that truth your grandfather wants for him. But in return... In return? I want you to take care of every single one of the monster extermination requests on the board first. Every single one? Aren't there like 5 of them right now? Sure, but the monsters in this area will be no trouble at all for you as you are now. It'd be less of a problem if Grant were around, but I had to lend him to the guild over in Ruin. Still not back. You're gonna have to pick up the slack here in his place, especially if you want time off. Okay. Bum bum bum. Time off style. Time and a half even. 3 days later. Bum 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 bum. Laced Fortress. Woo! I'm finally here. Right on time too. Okay, let's go bug Cassius. Meh. Go bug him. Can I help you? Says Private Samuel. Samuel. Well, I'm Analyst Elfeed, a bracer with the guild. I've come to meet with Brigadier General Bright. I see. I believe we've been expecting you. I'll pass on that you've arrived then. You might have to wait a little while before you can meet with the General, though, I'm afraid. Huh? But I'm right on time. Did something throw his schedule off? Something must have. I can't pretend to know much more than you do. But the General is a very busy man, so it's not at all unusual for things like this to happen. Anyway, like I said, I'll pass on that you've arrived, but I'm gonna have to ask you to wait out here for a while. Sure, no problem. Now we play the waiting game. This is taking ages. Hope the meeting isn't going to end up getting cancelled or something. I really don't want to have to come all this way for nothing. Suppose if I can't meet with Cassius, I could at least go shopping in Grand Cell. They should probably be getting the new lineup of stuffed toys around now. Of course, that's what her mind would go to. I wonder which one I should get. Maybe the bear. Or a crocodile once in a while would be nice. Excuse me, young lady. The General can meet with you now. Really? Bum bum bum. General style. Good day, sir. Thank you. And you must be analysts, I assume? Yes, I am. Welcome to Laced Fortress. Welcome to bonus round. The General is waiting. Please follow me. Oh, thank goodness. I just thought I was going to have to go home without getting to see him. I'm terribly sorry for the wait. Well, please follow me. You got it, sir. You got it, dude. Bum, 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 bum. General style. I brought your visitor, sir. Very good. You may return to your duties. Thank you, sir. I'm really sorry about the delay there, Analyst. Oh, don't be. I'm more thankful you took the time out of your busy schedule to speak with me at all. That's the least I could do for someone from my old line of work. It's been a while since we last met, though, hasn't it? You become a seasoned veteran before I knew it. I'd certainly like to think I have. Can't have Estelle soar ahead of me while she's abroad, can I? Soar along! This is just what rivals do. So they do. I'll be looking forward to seeing just how much stronger the two of you can become. You won't be disappointed. Getting to the point, I was pleased to hear that old Master Ka-Fi is still in good health. I believe it was because of him that you came here today. Yes, that's right. I didn't realize you were an acquaintance of his before this. I certainly am. In short, he's the man who taught me the way of the sword. That was over 20 years ago by this point. The first time we met was when I was back at the military academy, so I studied under him. I still remember the harsh training sessions he gave here at Leyston, like they were yesterday. Really? Is there any special reason you didn't say you knew him before? You knew I was his granddaughter, didn't you? I did. By the time I first met you, I had long given up the path of the sword. It didn't feel appropriate in my eyes to act as if I was his student in light of that. Oh, gotcha. I haven't seen him in about 10 years, I think. He does write to me on occasion, but how is he these days? Does he still have that same old vim and vigor? Yep, he really doesn't act his age at all. Still, you'll let me get right to the point. The reason I came here is to continue the discussion he had with you 10 years ago. Oh? To tell you the truth, Pappy still laments the fact that you left the path of the sword. That was why he wrote to me when he heard you'd returned to the army. He wondered whether you returning to the military may mean you were also ready to pick up a sword again. So, this is it. He'd like to know directly from you how you feel. I see. Well, it's a great honor that after so many years you still care so much about an inexperienced and utterly lacking swordsman like me. And yet I'm afraid my answer is that I still have no intention of taking up a blade again. Can I ask why? You certainly can, but I'm not sure how to put my answer. It's always been on my mind too. I've always wondered what would prompt someone so skilled with a sword that they even gained the title Divine Blade to leave it all behind. And I don't mean to make light of your skill with your staff or say it's inferior. Nothing like that. It's just hard to wrap my head around why you did what you did. There's a little part of me that can't accept it either. Especially now that you've returned to the army. Why can't you return to being a swordsman? Unless you believe that the staff is stronger than the sword after all. No, not at all. I just believe a staff to be a more fitting weapon for me as I am now. Staves are a symbol of protection, which are used more for keeping enemies at bay than cleaving through them. You say that as if all swords are good for is cutting and killing. That's not true. That's not true! So get your facts straight. I fight because I want to protect things just like you do. As a swordsman, as a bracer, and as myself. Are you telling me the swordsmanship Pappy taught me isn't going to let me do that? I'm sorry. I didn't ask for you to take time out of your day, so I could come and shout at you. But I can't accept what you're saying. Up until all of what happened here in Liberl, I never felt any doubts that swordsmanship was the right path for me. In the end, all of what happened just served to remind me of how powerless I really am. And now, I feel like no matter how hard I try, I'll always be a rookie. I'll never be strong enough to do what I want to. Now I see. Perhaps this is fate. I see Master Ka-Fi hasn't changed one bit. He's the same firecracker he always was. Well, what do you mean? I'm afraid as I am now, I'm not able to answer the questions you're asking. but I know someone else who can. Uh-oh. They're training. What's he planning to do out here? I really want to know who he called, too. Ah, there you are. Are you all ready to begin? Indeed I am. I never expected to have to wear this uniform again, though. Especially not so soon. I'd almost think you enjoyed messing with people. I'm not doing it to bully you. You know as well as I do, your usual work clothes aren't well suited for this kind of... It's Alan Richard! You're Colonel Richard. I realize this may sound a little silly coming from a man wearing this uniform, but I'm no longer a colonel, young... Sorry. So, Mr. Richard then, or Alan. Nobody calls him Alan, that's for sure. You can call me whatever you wish, though no need for the Mr. Meanwhile, I believe you are Analyst, a senior bracer with the guild. You know me? I'm not the former commander of the intelligence division for nothing. I knew about all of the bracers in this country. I see. But how did you end up being here? Actually, Richard was who I was meeting just before I spoke with you. Really? In short, I've decided to start up a new research company as a civilian. Keep that in mind. So while I may not be part of the army anymore, I can definitely see myself continuing to need to work with it in the future. The future. So I decided to come here in order to discuss the matter with Cassius, in the hopes of maintaining a good relationship between us in the future. Oh, I get it now. Wait. Is the person you mentioned earlier... That's right. I want the two of you to fight one another. What the hell? Wait a second. This is all a bit sudden, isn't it? Especially if I'm going to be fighting the famous Colonel Richard. Is that so? You don't want to know the answer to the questions you asked me earlier, then. I believe any doubts you have towards swordsmanship can only be dispelled through using it. Focus not on whether you win or lose, but on pouring all you have into battle. You should find the answers you seek. Alright then. Fight it, dude. I'm not sure I'll make much of an opponent, but I'll do what I can. It's not every day one has the chance to test their skills against a relative of the Eight Leaf School's founder. I'm eager to see what you can do. Begin. Right. Fight it out. We gotta fight Richard. 6,852 HPs. Hiya. Boom! Throw it all on him. What you get, sir? Uh-oh.
Think you're clever?
Afterglow Smasher.
Die with honor.
Oof. Ow, that tickled a fair bit. Luminous Ogre Smash. Or Slash, I shouldn't say. You know what I'm saying. Bum, 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 bum.
I'm just warming up.
Battle dance. Strength up, defense down. Ow. Hiya, even. Oof. It's a duel! Falling leaves. Sorry. Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Here I go!
You're done! And you missed. How'd you miss? Got him.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah! Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh yeah! Not sure it matters whether you win or lose that fight. Holy crap! I did it! Well, it looks like my skills still have a lot of room for improvement. Alright, the victor is decided. Sheath your blades. Okay. Bum 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 bum. So, Analyst, how did his swordsmanship appear to you? Well, he fights using the 8-League School's 5th form, Morning Moon. We know that from future games. He's made a few changes to the standard form, but it's largely a style based around sword drawing techniques. Well, okay, I noticed a bit more than just technical details like that. What did you notice? One thing I realized while fighting him, Richard swings his sword as if perfectly synchronized to my breathing. The second I go on the offensive, he reacts without fail. In that sense, it feels like his swordsmanship, much more defensive than offensive, I suppose. A defensive stance matches perfectly with the form he uses in combat, and the result is very natural, very powerful swordsmanship. Oh. What I can't work out is why you're so focused on fighting defensively to begin with. I mean, I assume it's because you want to protect something, but what? Analyst. Yes? I wield a sword for but one single reason. That reason is to protect this country. Oh. Everyone has at least something they wish to protect in this world. Perhaps that is a person, such as their family or loved ones. Perhaps it is a belief or ideology that they hold dear. And just as the things we seek to protect are different, so too are the ways we choose to do it. In my case, the way I choose to protect what I care about just happens to perfectly suit the defensive swordsmanship you noticed. Although I can only imagine how comical it must sound to hear a criminal who threatened this nation talk about wanting to protect it. Well, not really. Richard, Please don't say anything, General. Her Majesty may have chosen to pardon me for what I did, but that doesn't make those crimes simply disappear. Still, just as your desire to protect the Burl remained even after leaving the army, I can't completely turn my back on mine. It was so that I could do that, so I resolved to leave the army. It was? You see, Analyst, to me, one's position in life is just a means to an end, a way in which to achieve whatever you wish to do. I think that's true for one's choice of weapon as well. Wouldn't you agree? Well, what's important isn't what weapon you choose, but what you use it to do. What inspires you to take it up and use it to fight. The reason I chose to put my sword aside and take up a staff is those feelings had changed. That is all. So, Analyst, any more thoughts? I should just use my sword in the way that best fits me to do what I want. That's what you're trying to say, right? Sure is. You beat me to it. You're Master Kafai's granddaughter, alright. Very quick to catch on to things. I'm just as quick at forgetting things too, though. But I finally get where you're coming from. Really? I'm happy to hear that. But I ask you to pass my answer on to Master Kafai, then. Consider it done. I'm sure he'll understand. That again. Would you be opposed, Richard? Not at all. I've already inherited the way of the sword itself from you. It's only right that someone else should inherit that. What are you talking about? Well, that's settled. Would you accept this, Annalise? Cassius handed Annalise the Geno. What's this? It's a blade I once used myself. I think it would be much happier in the hands of an active practitioner of swordsmanship than in my own at this point. Wait a second. I couldn't possibly accept this. Truly, if anyone should be taking this off you, it should be Richard. Perhaps on the surface, but how things are on the surface is not what is always most important. I thought you had just learned that fact. I'm not sure the lessons I learned earlier have anything to do with this. There's no need to think so seriously about this, Annalise. All you need to do is take up this blade and use it to do what you want to do, in the way you choose to do it. That's all anyone expects of you. To do what I want to do, in the way I choose to do it. Well, if you insist, I'd be happy to accept it. I feel I've learned a lot today from having the opportunity to face off against you. I do hope I'll have the chance again one day. So do I. You'll both have to make sure you don't neglect your training, then. Of course. I wouldn't dream of giving it any less than 100%. There you go. Ba-ba-ba! Really, it sounds like that was quite the fruitful experience. It sure was. I'm guessing that was Pappy's plan all along. He knew exactly what would happen if I went to ask Cassius what I did, and that's why he asked. I must have sounded a little unsure of myself in the last letter I wrote him. I see. Like master, like pupil. Incidentally, while I hate to spring this on you before you've even had a chance to settle back in, a lot of work built up while you were away. Of course it did. There's even a request from the mayor, too, so I really need you to get right on it all. Heck! If anything, you should be grateful. All that work will give you a chance to refine your skills with that new mindset of yours, won't it? That's one way of looking at it, sure. One way. So, Pappy, while I bet you knew all along, it looks like Cassius has no intentions of taking up the way of the sword ever again. But thanks to seeing him, I ended up being given a chance to re-examine my own swordsmanship. Up until now, I thought it was all about getting stronger, or faster, things like that. But now, I finally realized that what's far more important than either of those things is why you take up your sword in the first place. Your feelings. I feel like now I finally understand why I was never able to defeat you, no matter how many times we fought. I might not be the best student in the world, but I'll keep giving my training all I've got. Love, Annalise. That's all one can do. Side story swordsmanship finished. See Geno, so we actually do get that sword. And 5,000 Mira. Good times. Alrighty then. You get a new sword. Geno. Whoa, it's a lot better. Holy crap. An old blade for training that once belonged to Cassius. Analyst only. Look at that. Strength up by 600. Art strength and art defense up by 50. Dexterity up by 25. Agility and speed up by 5. Damn, dude. Whew. That's nice. One day, Analyst receives a surprise letter, leading to a day she won't soon forget. Good lord, man. Alright. So we want to continue along. We want to go back to the lodge.